Now I'm going to talk about reading how your opponent's playing and adjusting to that and countering that. So some people just like, they won't move a lot and they'll like walk around a lot, and they might jump sometimes, but they won't use homing very much. Like you'll see people who are brand new to the game, they might play like this. And the problem with that is that homing is the best way to cover a large amount of space quickly. So if they aren't using homing, they can't really cover space very fast. And so you can just use jump 60 a lot, and it'll be hard for them to cover the space they have to cover to hit you out of it. And then as soon as you hit them, you can like follow up attacking. People who play like this also usually won't use guard cancel very often, so you can just do whatever when you're attacking. Then you'll play some people who are like really defensive minded, and they aren't they might move around more than a beginner, but a lot of the times they'll be jumping backwards, and then like when you approach they'll try to dodge and then counter if you like miss an attack or something. So to counter this, I usually just approach in the air with homing, either 5D or 6D, and then usually look to use 6B if I know they're gonna jump. And 6B is just really hard to dodge because it covers a lot of space in the air. So even if they like try to dodge it, they'll usually still get hit, or you'll make them block, and then you can take the advantage. And then to follow that up, some people play defensively, but then if they see you're jumping at them a lot, they'll just stay on the ground and anti-air. And then in that case I would try to like jump, and if I don't see them jumping, I'll just like not home, or I'll use jump 60. And then just like, so if I think they're gonna jump, or if I see them in the air, then I'll like home towards them and attack. But if they were waiting on the ground, they might anti-air, so I'll just stay back and use jump 60. Then you'll play against some people who use jump and neutral homing a lot, because it is a pretty good way to attack. So against that, I'd either try to use my homing and jump A and like hit them first, because if you start homing towards them first, you can hit them first before they can start their attack. So that's usually what I try to do. But if I think they're like jumping first and they're gonna get their attack in first, then I would like stay on the ground and try to stay closer and use 5B. Or if I think they're just like attacking without knowing if they're gonna hit, then I like jump back and then use 6C or jump E. And then you'll also play some people who just like to press buttons, and they're always like trying to attack you somehow. They're like jumping at you, they're air dashing forwards and attacking. They just like keep pressing attacks. And if they're just like doing random attacks, like just like doing this, you can usually just dodge an attack and then attack them. But if they're smarter about it and they like know how they're trying to hit you, like if they're doing something like this, it's harder to deal with because you can't really home at them because they're already their attack will hit you first. And even if you do, like I said before, and like move backwards, they might still hit you. So, against that, if they're just like blindly jumping forwards because they think you're gonna jump, and either jump back or jump and home towards them, in that case, you might be able to stay on the ground and anti-air them. If you think they're gonna approach, but you like don't know what to do to counter it, you can just do 2 and 4 in any button, because it's really fast and it covers, like I said before, it like hits a wide area. And usually I would try to like get some space and then either make them miss an attack and use jump 6C or jump E. And also, if it feels like I have an advantage, then I might try to home towards them and attack. That's one of the 3 buttons I was mentioning before, but sometimes it can be hard to deal with. Now I'm going to talk about some other options you have when you're pressuring the opponent. If you're hitting with a C move, you can just guard cancel forwards to keep attacking. And it's good to use to just make the opponent block more, so they don't just like, you don't just always do this and then they can jump away after they block. So you can like do it however much you want based on how much meter you have. And then in this version of the game, you can homing cancel this move now. So you can use it to connect to the fulcrum faster and make it harder for them to like get away from it. And then you have your same options. When you're connected to at certain ranges, you can go to the other side and hit them on the other side. So you can mix someone up like that. You can throw in, if you're using plant, the plant super 214-214E, and then it makes it harder for them to stay in the same spot. And a lot of people will try to jump after you use it because it looks like you can jump, so it's a good idea if you're in range. You can just use 2C again right after and hit them out of their jump, because it's really common for people to try to jump there. You can do C and then extend force and hit jump 6C. You can like air dash forwards and use it, or you can just jump and use it. And then you have all of your options available to you after you make them block it. Like you can move forwards and use A, or you can just use C, things like that. Then, if you see someone standing up a lot, you can do extend force and then 2C. And if they try to jump, or if they're standing and blocking, they'll get hit and it'll combo. Then, for an overhead without the fulcrum, you can do 5D homing cancel, and then tap up forwards and press C, and you'll like hit like this. You can also do it with extend, and you can do it off jump 6C. And if the opponent's blocking it every time, then you can just homing cancel and go into 2A. So you can like mix someone up like that. Then at close range, you can air dash forwards and hit it on the other side with jump C. So that's a pretty good move to use. You can also, if you're a little farther away, you can like jump like this. I wouldn't say it's that good, but sometimes you can beat some guard cancels like that. You can also jump and do 6D and then 5B in the air. And I'd say that's a good option because it beats out a lot of what your opponent might do. So like, they might do something like that and miss, or they might guard cancel and then you hit them after. So I'd say it's a good thing to do. And it can also cross them up if they like think you're gonna hit on the front side. Then you can throw in some throws by whiffing jump 6B and grabbing, because it looks like if you're homing at them, it looks like they're gonna get hit, but you just grab them. And there's different ways you could do it. I won't do it like that though. Then you can just put all of that together with like however much meter you have. You can make your own strings based on like what options your opponent does and what you want to beat. So like if you see someone who's not crouching very often, you can just do something like this. And then they might like get hit. And also, if you can do something like this. Wait. And it's actually like really hard for the other person to get out of. So then there's more combos you could do, like if you hit someone who's jumping and they're in the air, then you can go into jump. Like after you hit with jump 6B, you can home and cancel and do ABC, CE, or ABCD. The way I do it is I do homing, like neutral homing once, and then you press homing again and press A right after. You could also do up, like just hold up and do up homing. And AV, the same thing, AVCB. I guess that way is like kind of easier. I usually don't do it off of just jump 6B. Like if you hit that, you would do jump 2 or 2B on the ground and then float up, do AC 6B, and then do that. Also, if you hit with 5B on the ground, you can do a similar thing. when you hit someone on the ground, if you want to switch sides with them, you can do something like this. And if you use the super and it puts the opponent in the corner, you can cross them up when they get up with a forward stash. So you could do a similar combo. And then another way to do a similar thing is like you do 5A, 5E combo like this. When you hit with the vine attack, the opponent can't burst until the next hit. So if you want to stop them from bursting, like they have really low life and you can beat them in one hit, you can cancel and just super, and they can't burst the whole thing. You can also just do it if you want to keep an advantage and you don't want to let them burst. You can also do it after the 6-2-3 vine. And you can do it with extend force. If you only have 1 meter, you can do this super. It's not as much damage though, and it's not as good of a position. You can also end your combos with this super for more damage. Depending on how high they are and like how many hits you did in the combo, sometimes you'll miss, or like some of the hits won't connect. If the opponent's jumping and you hit with jump 6C, sometimes you can follow up with C when they're in the corner or they're close to you. And sometimes you can follow up with B. Well, no. If they're in the corner, you can home at them and do jump B. Then for an air throw, you can, if you're higher up, you can use homing and B. And if you're like low to the ground, you can use up, back homing and B. And then there's a whole bunch more things you can do, like something like there's like a lot of different combos you could actually do, but we're not really going to talk about them here. The last thing I want to talk about is what to think about when you want to get better. So you want to think about like what was it that your opponents are doing to hit you. So like you can save matches that you lose or even matches that you win and see when your opponent hits you, like what did they do to hit you. So for example, if someone's doing like someone's like doing like this and then they hit you with an overhead or something, or a cross up. What you want to focus on isn't really, at first, it's not that you got hit by an overhead. What you really want to look at is how did they like get in and start hitting you. In this example, they jumped and used neutral homing. So you would want to think, okay, what can I do to stop them from jumping and using neutral homing first? Like, could I walk forwards? Could I get closer to them and use B? Could I home at them and hit them before they do their attack? Could I like jump away, dodge it and counter, something like that? That's what you really want to think about first. And then the next thing is like, okay, I should watch out for that move. It might like cross up or it might be an overhead and maybe I can jump out or something like that. Maybe I can guard cancel. But first you want to think about like, how are they getting an advantage? How did they get to that point where they could use that move? And can I stop them before that? And sometimes you'll see like single moves that might be hard to deal with. So you're like, how do I deal with this move? And then you want to try different things, like maybe you can get under them and use 2B, maybe you can stay farther away, get over them, maybe you can see if guard cancel options work. But you want to think about not just like what they're doing in the strings to hit you, but what they're doing when they move around to like hit you. Where are they moving? Are they jumping? Are they moving on the ground? Are they just standing around? Are they like homing at you? That's what you really want to look at. And then you want to think like, if they're like just staying on the ground, what can I do? Can I stay on the ground and hit them? Can I jump at them? And like, where do I want to be so they can't hit me with whatever move they're trying to hit me with? And the next thing you want to focus on is like, when you get an advantage, you want to keep it. Like, if you do a combo, you want to make sure you finish the combo in a way that leaves you at an advantage. So like, this is where drops become a big deal. So if you like drop your combo and then they recover, sometimes it's hard to tell what's going to happen and they can like hit you because of that. But and you know, it might look like, well, they recovered and then they hit me with a jumping move. So I want to watch out when they use a jumping move like that. But actually, a lot of the times it might just be like, well, you dropped a combo and that put like it into an even situation that was hard to tell what to do next. And if you didn't drop your combo, you would have had an advantage. So you also want to focus on like, when you have the advantage, you want to keep it somehow. So if you finish a combo, you don't want to just like jump back and then like let them do whatever they want. You want to keep the pressure on and like follow up somehow. Like, You could do jump 6C and then like keep pressuring them. But that's the next thing you want to really think about is like, can you keep an advantage when you like get an advantage? And you also want to think about like, I'd say after that, what kind of strings are they doing? When they like start attacking you, what can you do? Are they like doing the same thing over and over, like jump, neutral, homing? Are they doing the same string? Like, you want to think like, can you guard cancel the string somewhere? Or is it okay to just use blast a lot? That's what I'd say that's like the next thing you would want to think about after you think about like, how are they moving around? How should I move around to counter that? And where do I want to be to like counter what they're gonna do? Then like after that you would think like, well, if I can't stop them from the move they want to do, what can I do? Like if they're like pressuring me, they have an advantage. What can I do after that?